Welcome to day 63 of our school year. Let's go ahead and get that filled in. All right, let's get down our beginning fraction. 180, we're on day 63. Let's find the factors of our numerator, which is 63. Two factors we always know are 1 and the number itself. And using the commutative property of multiplication, I can also write it as 63 times 1. Now we're going to go through our divisibility rules in an orderly fashion. So after 1, I'm going to try 2, because that goes in order. The rule for 2 is that it ends in an even number. 3 is odd, so 2 is not a factor. And if 2 is not a factor, no even number will be, so I only need to check odd numbers. So the next one is 3. The rule for 3 is that we add the digits together. You get 9. 9 is a multiple of 3, so 3 is a factor. 3 times 21. 21 times 3. Okay, next we try 5. The rule for 5 is that it ends in a 0 or 5. It ends in a 3, so 5 is not a factor. We try 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. Yes, 63 is in that list, so 7 is a factor. 7 times 9. 9 times 7. So the only counting or natural number between 7 and 9 is 8. We already said no even numbers will be factors since 2 is not, so we get to 9 and we are done. Let's go ahead and list our factors from least to greatest. 1, 3, 7, 9, 21, 63. We have 6 factors. That is more than 2 factors, so it is composite. And let's find our greatest common factor. So let's start with our greatest factor of 63 and see if that works. Your groups of 63 do not have to look like mine, but you need to make sure there's 63 in each and keep your shaded separated from your unshaded. So I have 7, that's 37, 47, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63. And I'm left with 54. I can't make another group of 63, so 63 is not our greatest common factor. Let's try 21. Groups do not have to look like mine, but they do need to have 21. And you do want to keep the shaded part separated from the unshaded part. So 17 plus 4, 16 plus 5, 15 plus 6, 14 plus 7, 13 plus 8, and I have 12 left over. That is not enough to make a group of 21. Okay, so let's try groups of 9. Your groups of 9 do not have to look like mine, but what I just did here is I took 1 off of each of these rows, and since I know my rows are 10, 10 take a 1 is 9, so each of these is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then I have 7 plus 2, 8 plus 1. If you need to count to make your groups, that's fine. I'd rather you get to the right answer slowly than the wrong answer quickly. 9 worked. I have none left over. So 9 is our greatest common factor. Let's count up our total groups of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 total groups. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shaded in. Now, 20 is one of those numbers that I can easily multiply to get 100. So that means I can find out my percent. Cent means 100, per 100. So I'm going to find my equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100 by multiplying by 5. So whenever I do to the denominator, I do have to do to the numerator. 7 times 5 is 35. So 35 hundredths can be written as a decimal like this, 35 hundredths. Like 35 cents in money. That's where it comes from, because there's 100 of them. And 35 per 100 or per cent. We've completed 35% of the school year. We have 65% left. Let's go ahead and do our division with our algorithm, since we just did it with our model, to prove our answer in a different way. We're going to divide 180 by 9 and 63 by 9. Alright, so say you didn't know that 20 times 9 was 180. You could just do 10 times 9. 10 times 9 is 90. Number's the same, 0 is a game, and then 18 take away 9 is 9. Well, that's another group of 10 nines. 10 times 9 is 90. Number's the same, 0 is a game. So that's our remainder. Add our 2 tens, and we get 20. Now, in case you didn't know that 7 times 9 was 63, say you're not very good with your 7s or your 9s, you're probably pretty good with your 5s, so you could do 5 times 9 is 45. I have more on the floor. Go next door. We group 10 more. 13 take away 5 is 8. 5 take away 4 is 1. And then 2 times 9 is 18. Number's the same, 0 is a game. So you could break that 7 up into a 5 and a 2 and still get to the 7. Let's go ahead and check. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Divisor times quotient plus remainder. Since our remainder is 0 for both, and the identity property of addition says when you add 0 it stays the same, we don't need to actually add it. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 groups of 2 is 18. 7 times 9 is 63. 63, that matches my original dividend, but 50 and 13 is also 63. 180, that matches our dividend up here. So our numerator is definitely 7, and our denominator is definitely 20. All right, let's go ahead and fill in our data collection page. Okay, trimester 2, week 1. Today is 11/6/19, and our fraction for today is 7/20, which is equivalent to 35 hundredths, which is equivalent to 35%. We have completed 35% of the school year, and we have 65% of it left. Let's go ahead and get out our number line. Okay, we did groups of 9. Okay, so here's our 3/20. 4/20 is equivalent to 3/15, to tenths, 1/5 is the simplest form, 6/30ths, 9/45ths, 12/60ths, and 18/90ths. Lots of equivalent fractions. Then we have 5/20ths, which is equivalent to 1/4. That's the simplest form. Also equivalent to 9/36, 15 and 15/60ths. Okay. Then we have 6/20ths, which is equivalent to 3/10. That's the simplest form. Also to 18/60ths and 27/90ths. And then today is 7/20ths. There are no lines below it because this is our simplest form or equivalent fraction in lowest terms. But there is an equivalent fraction in the threes because that is a common factor. Okay. But 9 was our greatest common factor. All right, go ahead and put your number line away, erase your worksheet, and thank you for joining me.